Plate to Create system is a 5-step process. First, design, trace, cut, ink, replace. For this video, I'm just going to give a couple tips on the tracing, cutting, and inking steps. I already went ahead and designed a layout using the designer templates, and basically I'm just going to pick up a border, trace it out, and each of the borders have a side A and a side B, so I have a 3A over here, and I designed my other side to have the 3B. And I'm just going to line it up on the edge of my paper, and then we're going to trace, and then you just take your other one and you make a mark. Where you make this mark, you're going to do a straight cut with your paper trimmer. Once you do a straight cut, then you're simply going to cut it up the middle, although that one cut is going to give you 2 pieces, and this comes in really handy when you're doing a 2-page spread, or you can even use them on a top or bottom of a 1-page. So again, really efficient use of your paper, simple, easy, and really fun. When you're cutting out your accessories, one important thing that I want to note is that you detach it from your larger sheet of paper. This is going to allow it to be a lot easier when you're getting into the details of the cut. And for designs like this, usually what I do is I just go one way first, and then I go back and I do the other way. Each design is a little bit different when you're cutting it out. Some are a little bit more intricate than others, but I think the thing also to keep in mind when you're cutting out designs is that you move it with your left hand, or your right, depending on which hand that you cut with. We do recommend inking, just because if you do have any raw edges from hand cutting it, which it's handmade, you're probably going to have a couple, and inking really gives it a nice finished look. Plus, when you have any pencil lines, simply just ink right over them. You don't need to take the time to erase them. Personally, we use this one color just for the fact of simplicity, but feel free to use as many colors or whatever colors that you would like. Basically, we do use a dauber so that you can get into the edges there. And again, I just go one way for these kind of designs, and I simply just move it with my left hand, and then I'm going to go back the other way. And you can bend the paper if you want to get a little closer to those edges that might be a little bit further in the crease. So that shows you inking an accessory. Again, really simple. The key here is to keep it simple, yet it's very effective. And then as far as the borders, same thing, you're just going to simply ink it. We just recommend inking all of the edges that are going to show. So if maybe you have a strip on the straight edge, or you have another border, you don't really need to ink this side, but if it was showing, you would want to ink the edge. And basically with the dauber, you just kind of go downward motion, almost like if you were playing guitar. A lot of times you'll also see us just kind of rub the edges with the dauber, which is fine as well. Now I do want to show you, you can take an ink pad, and you could go like that with the ink pad. It just gets it a little bit more of a messier look, a little bit darker, so you can kind of see the difference there. This one kind of comes up on the edge, this one just kind of goes on the side. So really quickly, I just want to show you here on a background sheet. This one is inked, and this one is not, and you can just kind of see how it allows the patterns to help distinguish from each other, but also to pop. After you trace, cut, and ink, then you're simply going to replace that layer, and then you would just repeat the same steps for each layer on your layout. So once again, these were just a few tips on the trace, cut, and ink steps of the process. To see a full demonstration of the Plate to Create system, please make sure to visit us at kiwiling.com.